What's up, Aaron? First and foremost, to your question on tribalism. Absolutely, tribalism was critical in getting humans to the place that they are at now. However, with our modern day technological capabilities and resources, tribalism today is nothing but a hindrance on our ability as a species to advance. And this is the reason why. 500,000 years ago, the threat that you were protecting your tribe against was a fucking saber-toothed tiger with 9-inch fangs that was going to come eat your children. Or this neighboring tribe of savages that was going to come in the middle of the night. They were going to come scalp your men, rape your women, and pillage your village, son. But now, there's only TikToks and Kim Kardashian and gender studies. And tribalism only serves to encase people in pits of intellectual stagnation, and they get defensive when new ideas are put forth. And that's just unhealthy. Humanity today has all the wealth and resources that it needs in order to unite and just use everybody's individual brain power to get the best shit, the best loot in the game. We could be OP. We have what it takes to be OP. And it starts with you. It starts with you opening up and challenging your own ideas and allowing people to challenge your own ideas. Embrace that change. And stop being such a stubborn. On to my next point. So, in my last video, I said that there are some fundamental principles of evolutionary biology. One of them being that related organisms tend to help each other out. You responded by saying that that's not necessarily the case, giving the example of male zebras killing the children of other zebras in order to prevent them from polluting the gene pool. But you're missing one fundamental detail in your argument. Not all zebras are related. Of course, they're genetically similar, being the same species, but you are genetically similar to a banana. That doesn't mean you're related to it. You are, of course, related to your siblings and to your parents and to your cousins, but not necessarily to all humans. This phenomenon is denoted by this little thing called Hamilton's rule, which is this beautiful, concise equation. Don't fret. Don't be scared. I'm going to walk you through it. It's pretty simple. It's actually pretty cool. What this equation does is predict whether or not an organism will help another organism, whether it's give it food or give a call when there's a predator about them. I'm going to pause the frame right here. So relatedness is how related are you to that individual in question? Benefit is how much benefit will that individual gain from your action? And cost is how much cost will you incur from your action? So this equation gives us quite a bit of information. Firstly, the more related you are to an individual, the more likely you are to help them. Secondly, the more possible benefit your action can bring to that individual, the more likely you are to help them. Lastly, the greater the cost of your action, the less likely you are to do that action. All in all, Hamilton's rule says that the more related you are to an organism, the more likely you are to help it. So now that we're shoulder deep in biology, I'll address your next question. You asked me whether I thought that there would be a correlation between the level of complexity of the language portion of an organism's brain and the number of old females in that species. I think a better question to ask would be, do you think that there would be a correlation between the complexity of the language portion of an organism's brain and the average number of females who have undergone menopause in that population? And even then, I would say yes, but it is not necessarily only the complexity of language that is a predictor of whether a species will have females with menopause in it. It could also be just plain instinct. For instance, you were never told to suck the teat of your mother for milk. You just did it because that shit slaps. Similarly, a killer whale perhaps never needs to be told to follow their grandmother to the food. Their brains are simply wired to follow the old females because they're going to get food. With that being said, I was reading this article and there does seem to be some common denominator between organisms who have females who have undergone menopause in their populations, and it is the migratory behaviors of that species. In killer whales, as the female gets older, she has more and more kids and more grandchildren, so her pod becomes increasingly full of her relatives. And so she reaches a certain point where it's no longer beneficial to have more kids, and it makes more sense to just invest your energy into the kids that you have already. quality versus quantity. African elephant females never stop reproducing. And scientists think that this could be due to the fact that elephant children leave the herd at a certain point. And so as the female gets older, her herd doesn't become full of more of her offspring. As such, it makes sense that she reproduce for the entirety of her life. There's actually only 3 species in which females achieve menopause, and it's obviously humans, killer whales, and pilot fin dolphins. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you found this, if but a little bit more interesting than your high school biology class. I, for one, had a really shitty biology teacher. If you need any clarification or if you're confused on a certain point, feel free to leave a comment. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.